Hello everyone and welcome to Lovella's Coloring. How are you all doing? I hope that everyone is doing well. I missed you guys. I know I haven't been around in YouTube last month. Just, for me making videos had to take a back seat to deal with what's happening in real life. I'm still going through a transition right now, but I'm hoping to explain it in a color and chat. I just don't know when that video is going to come out because there are several videos I want to do, and I've been tagged for three tag videos, so I want to get those out too. So I'm hoping that I can get it done within the next few weeks before we move. And yeah, so to get on with the video, I didn't get around to sharing with you guys my completed January colorings. So for this video, I'll be sharing both January and February's completed colorings. I do have to let you know that my son Mason is here with me as I record, so you may hear him in the background or not, I'm not sure. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and get started with the whips I am doing right now. So that is the work in progress colorings that I am doing. So I'm going to start off with Travel Mosaic. This is a color by number coloring book, and it is by Sun Life Drawing. And this is one of the books that I picked out to finish this year in 2021. So right now what I'm doing is just coloring them all in. I think I have I'm not sure, this much left, but I'm just going through, just coloring it in, like in bed, when I'm winding down, and then when I finish the book, I'm going to come in and fill in the lines with gel pen. So I haven't done that yet, and I still consider it a whip if it's not done yet, because I just want to have it look consistent. Yeah, so this is my whip, and it'll be my whip until I am done with this book. So this is the Travel Mosaic color by number by Sun Life Drawing. So my next whip is this illustration here by Hannah Lynn. This is from her Patreon. So this illustration is very special to Hannah Lynn. It's dedicated to her brother-in-law who recently passed away, and so I wanted to color it in for her because she does so much for our coloring community. She's always putting out beautiful illustrations. So this is just a base. I just did this with Ohuhu markers, and I still have to go in and just shade it all in with pencils and probably do some accents here and there. So here's another whip. I just wanted to get the base done and then just slowly fill it in with pencils. So again, this is from Hannah Lynn's Patreon. I forgot to mention that I'm also coloring Hannah Lynn's work for a color along on Instagram called Hannah Lynn Color Along 2021, and it's hosted by Claire_Linda 2015. And also for the Travel Mosaic, I'll probably fill in a couple of them so I can post it on Instagram to share for fellow color tuber Lauren Loves Color, her color along called #Mosaic March 2021. So yeah, I'll probably color in a couple of the pages in here with gel pen so I can enter it for her color along. And the last illustration I want to share with you, that is a whip. I based it right now with Distress ink, and then her hair and her skin is based in alcohol markers, and I believe it's with the Ohuhu brush marker. And this one is by Monya Gates. I got this from her Etsy store. I believe it came with a 4-pack of illustrations, and I'm coloring this for another fellow color tuber, her color along called #Monya March, and it's from Amazon Tammy. So I'll have the links and the hashtags down below in the video description if you guys want to join along also. So yeah, so this one is another work in progress that I am currently working on. Again, this is from Monya Gates from her Etsy, and I believe this one, it says Fantasy Mermaid Realm 1. I believe she's called Rishai, Rishai. But yeah, beautiful illustration. And it's also for Norma Coloring's Color Along. She has a color palette, so it's going to be blues and greens. That's why, yeah. So now I'm going to go ahead and get started with the colorings that I finished in January. And I'll start off, I have it with from the smallest book to the biggest book. So this one is Winter Dreams, and this is illustrated by Hannah Carlson. This is postcards, so our coloring postcards, and I colored this one. So I actually started this in December, so this was a whip that I finished in January, and I believe it could be for Kate's Coloring Heaven, her color along. I forgot what the hashtag is, but I'll either put it up here on the screen or it will be down in the video description. So the background, I colored the background with Sakura Koi watercolor, and then on top of that, because it was so streaky, I used the Crayola pearlescent cream sticks on top, and it kind of smoothed it out. It's still a little bit patchy, but I don't know if you can see how the pearlescent, but the stars are the Uniball Signal Gold, and I colored in the mousse with Tombow Erosion. And then you can see on the eye, there's a glossy accent, and then on the little red details down here, there's also some Link Shine glitter gel pen that's on the black part of the saddle, and then of course the hoofs. So yeah, I believe that's pretty much it. And Wink of Stella I put on the antlers, but it's kind of hard to tell. But yeah, so this is my second page that was done from the postcard coloring book by Hannah Lynn, and again, this is called Winter Dreams. The next coloring that I finished is this PDF from Mystic Art Mirrors. I bought this off her Etsy store. I believe it is the Christmas set, and I can't remember if it came with 3 or 4 illustrations, but each of them came with the snowflakes on the drawing. And so after I did the Munoz soft pastels in the background, I went over the snowflakes with the Zig Wink of Stella glitter brush just to try to make it pop out a little bit more and add some shimmer to it. It's kind of hard to tell, but it's there. I based the girl with Copic markers and Lemouche markers. I colored on top of that with Caran d'Ache Pablos. I did use a black Prismacolor pencil for her eyelash. I used a lot of white Posca for the pom-poms in her hair. And you can see that there's some Sakura Stardust clear glitter on the pom-poms. I also used several other colors for her hair, for the candy cane and the ribbons. So there's glitters there. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah. So all of the colorings that I'm sharing with you, they are for several color alongs on Instagram. There are just so many that I didn't even try to list it because yeah, there's just several. If you're interested in knowing which color along I did each of my colorings for, just check out my Instagram. I list it all there. There's usually about more than 3 color alongs that I do a page for. So again, this is from Mystic Art Mirrors Christmas package of illustrations. The next coloring is in Rita Berman's Mine Herb Spicer Gang. I believe it's illustrated to my Autumn Walk and Autumn Walk. Yes, the page I did in here is this one, which was a lot of fun. I remember watching The Mandalorian as I was coloring this, and the pencils I used to color this in is with the Bellissimo 500 colored pencil, the Forest set. This is number 301 to 320. So all of the pencils in here I used to color this illustration in. You can see the snowflakes in the background. I used the Uniball Silver for that, and then there's some Sakura Stardust here and there around the page. But this was a fun page to color in, trying to figure out different ways to use each of the colors. But yeah, so this is the page I colored in mine, Herbs Spicer Gang by Rita Berman. The next book is Colorish Wild. This is from Emmanuel Cullen. This is one of the books that I mentioned in the video that I did where I share the 10 books that I want to finally color in 2021. So these are books that I haven't colored in yet. There are no finished colorings. And so this is my first one in this book. And the reason why I use this is tracing paper to protect it from the dirt that I had on this side, because I have no background in this and I don't want it to just smudge everywhere. So this is my first coloring from Emmanuel Cullen. I did her skin with Pan Pastel. That was the first time I did skin with Pan Pastel, so I'm very happy with the results. I still have a lot of practice, I think. Blending, it does get a little smudgy here right underneath her chin, but that's okay. Her hair, I did base that in with Ohuhu markers, and I colored the rest of it with Faber-Castell Polychromos, and I'm very happy with how it looks. I really like the colors of the flowers, how the hummingbird looks, and yeah, there's a little bit of Sakura. I think Stardust is a glitter in the middle of the flower. But yeah, very, very pretty. Hope I can do more of her illustrations, probably from her other books. But yeah, this is my first coloring from Emmanuel Cullen. And this book is the first one from her series of Colorish Wild. The next coloring is in My Wondrous World Enchanted Winter, illustrated by Maja Vandenberg. This was given to me from Natalie, so thank you so much, Natalie. I had a lot of fun coloring in this book. I was playing with the Faber-Castell Gelatos, both the pastel and the metallic. So this is the result. I did try to blend it. I didn't use any water. It was just blending with the sponge, trying to blend the colors out. So I was repeating the colors going out. And what else? I did use one colored pencil, and it's the Arteza Dreamy Blue. I believe that's the metallic one, I think. But to do the shades in for the mandala, and after I did the shading, I went over it with the Posca white. So it kind of looks 3D-ish. You can see the metallic shining off the light. But yeah, so this is my first coloring in this book by Maja Vandenberg. And this is called My Wondrous World Enchanted Winter. My next coloring is from Grand Fashion Coloring Book for Girls. This is from Ava Boone. And if you look at this book from on Amazon, it says it has 300 pages. It does have 300 pages, but there is only 150 illustrations. The pages that they count is the front and the back, but I would only consider one side the page that you actually color. I wouldn't color the other side. So yeah, so this is the page that I colored in this book. I was trying out my new Ohuhu brush markers, and yeah, it was a lot of fun coloring this in, trying to figure out how to shade it in. And I did use a little bit of Sakura Stardust. So yeah, this was a lot of fun. So this is my first page in this book, and this is the Grand Fashion Coloring Book for Girls from Ava Boone. My next coloring is from Woodland Wonder, and this is by Jen Racine, and I was inspired to get this book from Nikki in Niagara. She was doing a color along where you color any illustrations from Jen Racine. So this is my first book from her. I've been looking at her other books. But anyways, my first coloring in this book is this one, and which I entered for Nikki's color along. And I did get a color palette from the Practical Color Combinations to use for this page. And this is done all with markers. I believe I used a mix of both the Lemachet markers and Ohuhu markers, and I also used white Posca. Really cute and simple page. Really like it. So this is the page that I did from Woodland Wonder by Jen Racine. My next coloring is in 50 Winter Miniatures, and this is by Camellia Angelkova. I did the nameplate page for Pebbles Adult Coloring, her color along, which is a year-long color along. And I'm going to try to do as much nameplate page as I can because I know I have a lot of them. But yeah, this page I colored in with just the Ohuhu brush markers. I was playing with them again, just playing and blending with them. Very happy with how it turned out. I was worried about how the bear was looking, but looking at it from afar, it looks okay. You can see this book belongs to part is shiny. I used the Link Shine glitter pens on that. And I actually bought more packs of those. They were like $3.25, so I bought a couple more packages of those. I'll leave a link to those pens down below in the video description if you're interested in those gel pens. But yeah, very happy with this page. Again, my first coloring in 50 Winter Miniatures by Camellia Angelkova. My next coloring is from Creative Haven, Christmas Color by Number. This is illustrated by George Tufexis, and my first coloring in this book is this Christmas cake right here. I believe this was a whip from December that I finished in January. I started off coloring it in with the Faber-Castell Albrecht Dürer, so you can tell the paper. I did use the water to activate it, but after I activated it, it looked dull and kind of washed out. So I came back in with the Faber-Castell Polychromos to brighten it up using the same colors, and I think it worked really well. So very happy with this page. I think it looks pretty. And yeah, so this is my Christmas cake from Creative Haven, Christmas Color by Number by George Tufexis. My next coloring is from Alice in Wonderland coloring book. This is illustrated by Jasmine Beckett Griffith, and it's also my first coloring in this book, which I did as a buddy color with Shalene, the coloring book Nook. This is the page that we picked out to do. So happy with this page. The color palette for this one was for a color along by Nirma Coloring. She had a color palette, and that's kind of the palette that I followed to do this page. And yeah, so I based a lot of this page with Copic Chow markers, Lemachet markers, and Ohuhu markers. The background part here was done with Neocolor 2s. The pink parts here were like pink blobs, and it took me a while with the pencils I used. I used the Caran d'Ache Luminance, so with those luminance I tried to do like a blurred out bush, rose bush in the background, and I don't know if that worked out well, but that was my attempt. And yeah, I also used a lot of Posca on her hair to it was a beige color, so to take out the black lines, especially her eyebrows, her skin. I did forget about this part on her dress, but that's okay. For the Cheshire Cat, I mixed acrylic, a red and white, to make pink to go over the black lines. I used white Posca for the teeth, and it was so bright white that it kind of reminded me of Ross from Friends when he whitened out his teeth. And yeah, the cat looked so freaky that I went over it with, I believe it was like gray, a light gray, just to tone down the whiteness so it wasn't standing out so much. But yeah, I think I either got used to it or it came out all right. But I think my favorite part of this whole page is the cat's eyes. I really love how his eyes just pops out. So yeah, so this is my first finished page in Alice in Wonderland by Jasmine Beckett Griffith. And thank you so much, Shalene, for doing this buddy color with me. The next book is this one. This is Disney Le Grand Classique Art Deco Tome 2. This is by Hatchet Heroes, and the page I colored in here is this one of Tinkerbell and Periwinkle, her sister Periwinkle. And yeah, so this is the page I colored in. And I used the Caran d'Ache Pablos. I believe I pulled it out to color this page because I was asked a question on Instagram about those pencils. So to remind myself about how those pencils feel to use, I colored I think Tinkerbell first, and then so that I was able to answer her back. And then so I just finished up the rest of the page. And yeah, so those pencils are fun to use. I really love how they blend. And yeah, so this whole page is pretty much colored in with the Caran d'Ache Pablos, and then the background is black Posca. I wasn't sure if I should just leave it white or to color it in, but I'm very glad that I did color it in with the black Posca because it kind of fills out the page, makes it look complete. The background part of this is the Munoz Soft Pastels. I did use a little bit of pencils to make it bluer on top because I wanted it to lighten up as it goes down. The little stems in the background, I used the Sakura Stardust so it shines. I also used white Posca, Sakura Stardust, and Tombow dual brush pens to do the wings to make it look glittery, I guess. And then I also used the Zig Wink of Stella for just a shimmer on their clothes. See it on Tinkerbell. So yeah, this was a fun page to do. I was very happy with how this one came out. It's also my first page, I believe, in this book. So this is Tinkerbell and Periwinkle. And this is the Disney Le Grand Classique Art Deco Tome 2 by Hatchet Heroes. So the last page or coloring that I did in January is from this book, Imaginary Friends by Karolina Kubikowska, and I did a page in here as a buddy color with the lovely Anne Hatfield. Her YouTube channel name is Anne Hatfield, your colorful beauty rep. And so this is the page that we colored, or I colored this one. She has her own version too, which I love. It is so beautiful. I love the little details that she added, especially on the book. For mine, I just did it all with watercolor pencils. The one I used is the Anna Vellaci brand. It was new to me, so I wanted to try it out, and I think It really works very well. It activated nicely, and yeah, I really love how this page came out with just the watercolor pencils. And I also added some Sakura Stardust on the middle of the flowers, and then also on her shirt, the stripes on her shirt, and on her fingernails. But yeah, so that's pretty much it, just watercolors and some Sakura Stardust. And yeah, my buddy color with the lovely Anne. So thank you so much, Anne, for doing this buddy color with me. So this is the last of January, and I'll go ahead and get started with February's colorings. So I'm just going to start from my smallest book to my biggest book. So the first coloring I'm going to share with you from February is in 100 Hugs by Chris Rydell, and the page I colored in here is this one, which is the Alice in Wonderland themed page where they're hugging. She's hugging the white rabbit, and I love how the white rabbit's popping out from the cream paper. And I used the Caran d'Ache Luminance for this page. I was already using it for another page, but decided to keep it out and color this page. It was fun and quick, and really love how it came out. I also used some a metallic gel pen. I believe it's the Sakura metallic, and I also used the Sakura glaze, black glaze, for her headband and for her shoes. So yeah, so this is the first from February. I believe I also colored this page for Shalene's color along, hashtag Alice Along 2021, I believe it's called. If it's wrong, I'll put it up on the screen too. So this is 100 Hugs by Chris Rydell. My next coloring is from Enchanted Faces by Hannah Lynn, and I forgot to mention with 100 Hugs by Chris Rydell, this is one of the books that I want to eventually finish. So you may see this book pop up throughout this year. And Enchanted Faces by Hannah Lynn is also another book that I want to eventually finish. So I'm hoping to do as much colorings in these two books. So the page I colored in here is this one, which is Valentine's Day themed. I colored this page in with Ohuhu brush markers, and on top of that I used the Tombow Erosion for some accents. In this page I used the Zig Winkastella on her wings to make it shimmer, and then also Sakura metallic and the Pentel Sparkle Pops. And I also used Posca, I believe it's either beige or peach, for the cloud, and then white Posca. So yeah, very pretty page from Enchanted Faces by Hannah Lynn. So in February I was kind of going through where my son would want to sit with me as I color. So during those times I would just do like color by numbers. So this is one of the books that I colored in while my son helped me out and encouraged me. So this one is the 50 Colorish Mystère Art Therapy by Hatchet also, and this was given to me from Natalie, and so I colored my first picture in here. And yeah, my son was sitting on my lap helping me color in this page, so I colored in the first page. I colored this in with the Castle Art colored pencils, and yeah, I didn't do any kind of like blending or anything, just straight pencils. Glad I found like the right colors, especially for her skin. So yeah, my son helped color in the green areas, the big green areas. So yeah, this is my first page in 50 Colorish Mystère. So I have another French coloring book, Color by Number. This is Disney Princess and Fairies, Carré Mystère. I did this book in bed with my son. We're both watching Tinkerbell, the whole series of movies on Disney Plus. So at the same time I colored in this page. I used Crayola Super Tips, Staedtler Dual Tips, and also Tombow Dual Brush Markers. And so I colored this page in Tinkerbell, and then I also colored in Rosetta. I believe that's her name, Rosetta. And yeah, through the whole marathon of Tinkerbell movies. And those are from Disney Princess and Fairies Carré Mystère. This is by Hatchet Heroes. I did a couple more color by number pages from Zen Doodle. This is the stained glass coloring book with illustrations by Deborah Mueller. And I did the first 2 pages with my son acting like a cheerleader for me, telling me how good I'm doing. So this one I used the Le Maché alcohol markers. Love how vibrant the page looks with the alcohol markers, but then I also like how subtle this page is. And this page I used the Crayola Twistables. So both versions are very nice. I like the gradient in this page with a stained glass look, but both are very nice. So I'll probably do a mixture of both in this book. So those are my 2 pages from Zen Doodle Stained Glass by Deborah Mueller. The next one is a magazine called Relax and Color. It's a color by number magazine, and it comes with different kinds of illustrations. Like you have mosaics, you have just different kinds. I think there's squared, there's some stained glass in here, patterns. But I just started off with the first page, and I was worried about the colors from the pens I chose to use. I used the ultrafine Bics and Sharpies, and yeah, I had to be very quick and precise when I was coloring this because it was so small and the ink just kept trying to spread out. But really like how this turned out. Very pretty. So this is my first page from Relax and Color magazine. So the next book is Creative Haven coloring book. This is Flower Mandalas, the black background. These are illustrations from Marty Noble, and I've been wanting to color in this book, and I'm just so happy I got 2 done. I don't know, it just with mandalas, I overthink it with trying to choose the right colors, but I did look through the practical color combinations book to help me figure out my colors, and just really happy with how they both turned out. So this one I colored with the Parku alcohol markers and the Sakura metallic. So very, very pretty. And then the second page is this one. I colored it with Le Maché markers and Link Shine glitter pens. Look how glittery that is. Very pretty. So those are the 2 colorings I did in Creative Haven. Flower Mandalas Black Background by Marty Noble. I colored in another Creative Haven coloring book. This is called Steampunk Fashions by Marty Noble. And the page I colored in here was for a buddy color with the lovely Amanda Downey. Her Instagram name is @DowneyAmanda. So this is the page that we colored. I really love her page too. Ours was kind of like opposite. I believe she had like a green dress with a red background. But yeah, this one, for some reason, it took me a while. I was going back and forth with coloring it. I think I based it and then left it for a bit and came back again, started coloring. But it did take a while because of the folds in her dress. But I really like how it kind of looks velvety to me. But yeah, very, very happy with this page. I based this page with Ohuhu markers, and then I went over it with Faber-Castell Polychromos. The background part, the screen part, is done with the Paul Rubin pearlescent watercolors. And I also came in with the Sakura Metallic Gel Pen and the Link Shine Glitter Gel Pen. There's a little bit of Sakura White Gel Pen right there on the jewelry and her eyes, and I believe that's pretty much it. So that's how it looks, how she looks up close. But yeah, lots of shading done, especially on the I forgot what these things are called, cogs. But yeah, so this is my buddy color page with Amanda from Creative Haven's Steampunk Fashions by Marty Noble. The next book is A Fairy Lives in Every Garden. This is by Destiny Lauritsen, and the page I colored in here was to me is Valentine's Day themed. I based this with Ohuhu brush markers. I colored on top of it with Castle Arts colored pencils, and then I have a little bit of Sakura Stardust and white gel pen, and then on the love part I went over it with the Zig Wink of Stella. You can see it. There's a little glitter on her wings. But yeah, she's super cute. Really love, bless you, her illustrations. Very cute illustrations. So this is A Fairy Lives in Every Garden. This is by Destiny Lauritsen. So my last coloring for this video and for February, this is Wild Soul coloring book by Grazia Salvo. This is one of the books that I picked for the tag where we pick out 10 books that are untouched in our collection that we want to color in 2021. So this is my first coloring in this book by Grazia Salvo, and I colored my first page, which is the Flamingo, and I colored this for a color along that was hosted by Jody Ann, who's known as Little Pickle's Colorful Life. I forgot what the hashtag was for her color along, but it was flamingo themed, and I'll have the hashtag up here. Very, very happy with how this page turned out. I really took my time, especially with her skin. I based the background, the leaves, with Distress ink, also the flamingo, and then for the leaves I used Tombow Erosion to color it in, and for the girl and the flamingo I colored it with Caran d'Ache Luminance, and then just a little dots of white Posca on the eyes. But yes, very, very happy with how this page came out. And yes, so this is the last coloring for this video and for February, and I hope you guys enjoyed seeing all of the colorings that I completed in both January and February. I thank you all so much for stopping by, and I will see you guys at my next video. Please take care, keep safe, and happy colorings. Bye bye.